major influences on you all? Major people that influence
you? Yeah, it's a difficult question. I guess, I think the most significant person who got me into anthropology was my teacher, Monica Wilson, whose work, alas, is not widely read in anthropology anymore. She was a very interesting woman. Her father-in-law was Dover Wilson, a great Shakespearean critic, and she was a missionary's daughter in South Africa. And she went to Cambridge to do her graduate work. Always you come from the south to one of these places. And she happened to marry somebody who was one of the heirs to the Union Castle shipping line. So it was a lot. And she came back to South Africa and she taught us. And she was the one who made Africa seem central. But she would come into this lecture room, and it was like this size in the old arts block in this Cape Town University. In her full Oxford regalia, it was like 80 degrees outside. This woman coming with a fur hat and a lot. And she was very shy, and she used to lecture to us about things like witchcraft, and we were quite sure she was a witch. She would sort of cackle, and stand there. But she had this fascinating way of making the most ordinary sort of life of ordinary rural people in the African outback seem significant. I think she was the most significant. That and reading people like, K. Marx and M. Weber, which were not, by the way, when we were growing up, Marx was banned, right? You were not allowed to read Marx in South Africa. So it was only when I first came to Britain in the late 60s that I actually could go and open up a Marxian text. And to me, Marx was not a politician, he was a historian, of detail, because he wrote about ordinary things, and that was very influential.